Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe. Both The Miz and the Money in the Bank briefcase overcame nearly a year of terrible booking on Sunday night to successfully cash in and win the WWE Championship from Drew McIntyre after the Raw Elimination Chamber match. But as Luke and I speculated on yesterday's WrestleTalk podcast review of the show, Miz seems set to be nothing more than a transitional champion. The Miz, you see, had made a deal with the Devils in fancy suits, agreeing with MVP that Bobby Lashley would beat down McIntyre before Miz cashed in his shot, in exchange for Bubbles getting the first title opportunity. This was the main storyline in last night's Raw, which ended with Shane McMahon booking Bobby versus Miz for the WWE Championship on next week's show, which might have already had the results spoiled by the very reliable WrestleVotes on Twitter, who've posted, "It's that time of year, lots of misinformation with sources, which happens around WrestleMania. However, from source, WWE title match The Miz is not scheduled to be involved. As of now, Bobby Lashley is." It's important to note WrestleVotes themselves have said this could easily be misinformation, as WWE have been known to purposely feed people false storylines to not give away their big WrestleMania plans. But it certainly looks possible Lashley could beat The Miz on next week's Raw, and if not then, via some kind of Strowman or Drew McIntyre interference, then at the real biggest show of the year, Fastlane on Peacock Premium. Would you prefer to see Lashley or The Miz as WWE Champion heading into WrestleMania? Let me know in the comments, because I'll be replying to people from out of nowhere. Say, move aside McIntyre, give me Lashley versus Samoa Joe. Because WWE's main event scene in 2021 is actually either Ring of Honor or TNA's from a decade prior, why not have Joe and Lashley reprise their Bound for Glory feud back in 2009? It just needs Joe, who's been on commentary for almost a year following a head injury during a commercial shoot for WWE, to be medically cleared. In an interview with Sportskeeda, Joe has confirmed he wants to return to the ring, but I'm not putting a timetable on it because the type of injury is not something that I want to rush. Obviously, for obvious reasons. Meanwhile, over in AEW, their Women's Eliminator tournament has had one of its entrants forced to be removed following an injury. AEW have revealed that the Dark Order's Anna Jay picked up a shoulder injury during training and will have to undergo surgery, which will put her out of action for 6 to 12 months. Jay will be replaced in the tournament by Maddie Rendkowski, a student of Thunder Rosa. According to a report from Fightful Select, the injury occurred well over a month ago. The company and Anna Jay were hopeful that the injury wasn't as severe as it ended up being, but that's what has kept her sidelined for that long, before the injury was recently aggravated. And finally, before my Raw review, Big E has launched a Kickstarter. Along with some friends, Big E is hoping to create a new animated series highlighting key Black American historical figures called Our Heroes Rock. Currently, the campaign has raised $23,000 out of the $75,000 required, with 47 days left, and you can find a link to that campaign in the description below. Now it's time for my review of last night's Raw in about 5 minutes. Now, I don't know if this came across because I'm pretty good at keeping my emotions in check when it comes to wrestling. I wasn't a big fan of the ending of Elimination Chamber.
Okay, everyone else has had their swear so far.
Yeah.
Are you f***ing serious?
I still think the booking of both The Miz and the Money in the Bank briefcase was terrible and undermines any actual interest or emotional investment I have in the storyline, character, or, let's take it one further, the whole goddamn company. You know what? Breathe. I'm feeling a bit more optimistic today, because I think it's very clear Miz's reign will be a short, transitional one, and we're finally getting a fully realised Bobby Prime in WWE. The episode opened on a Miz TV Champions edition, because of course it did, where Miz listed through all the people he's gone through in his career. John Cena, The Rock, Daniel Bryan, Bobby Lashley, confusing main event star power with just being there a really, really long time. But then out came Lashley in the most threateningly pink suit since Mark Henry faked out his retirement. This episode was the best Lashley has looked since his WWE return almost 3 years ago. We've gone through sisters. We've gone through how powerful his butt is, an actual storyline. So thank you, MVP, because just like the Beatdown Clan in TNA, on which the Hurt Business is based, his faction isn't just about giving him the best run of his career, it's about elevating all those around him. This is when MVP revealed his deal with Miz. Lashley gets the first shot at the WWE title, and he wants it now. Miz was given an hour to respond, which started a countdown graphic. Then we got 2/3 of that very good US title match from Elimination Chamber with Riddle versus John Morrison. The championship was a great way to build up Lashley in the background, and now he's lost it without being pinned, he can move on protected, leaving the rest of the division to actually have competitive matches again. Riddle won in a great back and forth clash, hopefully meaning the US title can once again become the work rate segment on weekly TV. Rhea Ripley's promo package said she's coming soon to Raw for Charlotte Flair to beat her. The New Day beat the Biker Mice from Mars's T-Bar and Mace in barely a few minutes, causing even Ali to get frustrated with Retribution's booking, as he shouted at them all for losing so much. So they're either breaking up, becoming serious and adding more recruits, or nothing happens off the back of this and we just get the same repetitive feuds and infighting over and over again until the faction eventually disappears. After the first hour, it was now time for Lashley's ultimatum. Miz said he needed more time when out came Braun Strowman to say he should get a title match before anyone else. One Shane McMahon dance later, I'm Shane McMahon, yeah, I'm back. And he'd booked Lashley versus Strowman for the main event, where if Braun won, he'd be added to the Miz versus Lashley WWE Championship match next week, which almost definitely means we're getting Shane McMahon versus Strowman in a Raw Underground match at WrestleMania. It's still a good format. I'd actually like to praise WWE for weaving so many different storylines into one night-long narrative. And what's really interesting was how Miz texted someone after begging Adam Pearce backstage to get out of the Bobby match, presumably setting up some interference for next week. And because the darkest timeline knows no bounds, I reckon it's Shane McMahon, former WrestleMania foes coming together to form their own faction with their chief enforcer, Mizdad. Or Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman also works. Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander beat Lucha House Party in a fun, quick-paced tornado tag where, crucially, they worked together to win. They now deserve a proper tag team title feud. After R-Truth was too scared of Damian Priest to beat Bad Bunny for the 24/7 title backstage, Priest took on Angel Garza in a singles match. Garza actually got a fair bit of offense in, but it was just to build Priest's awesome block strike comeback to win, and then he fought off 24/7 title jobbers for Bunny. Randy Orton cut a promo backstage about how he keeps getting distracted. The Gauntlet match last week, the Chamber match the previous night, but it's not the Fiend. He burned the Fiend. It's Alexa Bliss. Or maybe that dodgy taco he ate in catering because he then coughed up black liquid and ran away. Yay! Supernatural Bollocks is back. This was stupid. Made even more so by the commentary team completely no-selling a man being poisoned because they've got to talk about Lacey Evans being pregnant. Charlotte Flair and Asuka finally imploded despite being the bestest of friends while facing Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler next. Flair accidentally booted Asuka in the face and Jax hit the leg drop to win. Asuka slapped Charlotte's hand away after the match. But even when Asuka starts actually feuding with Charlotte, she's still not the most important thing. Because, but 2 segments later, Charlotte was telling Rick to go home and let her be Charlotte Flair. Let her be her own person. Her own person who does the figure 4 and says woo a lot. And wears a robe. This appeared to be WWE dropping any hint of the Evans storyline, as Rick apologized, said he didn't get Lacey pregnant, and left. Well, that storyline sure was worth it at the expense of the Raw Women's title. Sheamus beat Jeff Hardy in a physical match. At least it keeps Sheamus's momentum going, building a blood feud between him and Drew. It's not just Miz title runs that are coming back from the past. Naomi and Lana versus Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke was a total Divas era 2-minute match. Nobody got entrances, and Naomi and Lana won the toilet break. AJ Styles beat Ricochet in a good match for the time they had, which was more about Omos than any of the action in the ring. He got a video video package talking about how tall he is before the match, the commentators talked about how tall he is during the match. And then he effortlessly lifted up Ricochet by the neck and slammed him down after the match. They have actually done a really good job building Omos up. Hopefully it actually leads to something now, but it's also like a microcosm of all of WWE's booking for the last 20 years. You've got AJ Styles and Ricochet right there, but there's also a big guy. Let's go for the big guy. The main event of Braun vs Lashley was what really turned my opinion around on the Miz title win. I was prepared for Strowman winning to make it a triple threat next week and stretch out this story, but what we got instead was Bobby being booked Heyman style in an awesome back and forth hoss battle, with Lashley kicking out of the power slam, which commentary put over huge, and then hitting a double pounce spear to win, and he beat up Miz afterwards for good measure. It was a very heel heavy main event with no baby faces on this Raw chapter of the storyline, which almost made Bobby look even more badass. They're actually booking him so well, I want to see Lashley's title run last past Mania. What did you think of Raw? Let me know in the comments down below and vote in our poll on a poll match on the community tab, where 65% of you want Bobbles Splashly as WWE Champion. I had low expectations for this episode because I was so down on the ending to Elimination Chamber. So I don't know if this Raw was actually good, or I've just been so worked over by WWE booking that I don't even know what a wrestling is anymore. But I do know I'm loving this presentation of Lashley. This week's Raw is average. Watch mine and Luke's podcast review of Raw, where we talk more about how awesome Lashley is right now by clicking the video on the right, and subscribe to the WrestleTalk podcast channel, as that's the new home for all of our live streams. And watch my review of The Miz cashing in at Elimination Chamber by clicking the video below that. I've been Mr. Davis. Jam that jam.